お盆か。いや、元気よ。あ、
10 people so coming.
2人で聞かせてもらうの？
もう前に番組でしょ。せっかく縁の説がこれだから。じゃあ始めましょうか。よろしくお願いします。じゃあ合唱お願いします。南無阿弥陀仏。南無阿弥陀仏。南無阿弥陀仏。おはようございます。お盆のさせてもらいます。日本語は先生のとこからその英語と日本語を分けたんですね。その日本語はその英語の十字のお参りの前に説教だけ、法話だけ、それで十字のお参りを一緒に参ってもらって、お経をいただきますから。でもよかったらどうぞ一緒にしてください。OK。いや、前に来るとよく聞きますから。じゃあ、遠藤先生をお願いします。おはようございます。まずご参拝で拝読させていただきます。願度に至れば速やかに無常涅槃を生してぞ、すなわち大悲を起こすなり、これをエコーと名付けたりと。おはようございます。奥さん。わざわざ私のために出てこなくてもよかったんだけど、本日、三の出別院様のお盆法要にようこそお越しくださいました。ありがとうございます。2、3ヶ月前でしたかしら、Sakamoto Rinbanからお電話がありまして、お招きをいただきまして、お盆の英語の法話をお願いしますと、その電話で、ところが2週間前ぐらい、英語の法要の前に日本語のお参りがありますので、日本語の法話も、ちょっとしてくれませんかという電話がありましたので、と思いました。でもね、こうしてこういう大切なご縁をいただきましたこと、本当にありがたいでございます。ということで、ただいま皆様と一緒にちょっとだけ日本語の話をお取り次ぎをさせていただきたいと思います。お盆と申しますと、私たちのご先祖、あの世からこの世に1年ぶりに帰ってくるという、よく季節にご存知と思いますけど、特に京都ではご先祖様を迎え火を焚いて、家の前に玄関のところに火を焚いて、提灯の中に入れて、で、そのご先祖様を迎える時ですね。そして、これ8月ですよね、京都の本番。有名な五山の送り火という、ね、お祭りというか、行事がありますけども、五山の送り火、有名なお盆の季節になりますと、ご先祖の霊が世からこの世に帰ってきて、そして お盆が終わりますと、そのご先祖の皆様の霊をあの世にまた送り火を京都周辺の山々に、文字とか、ね、絵にした大きな火を焚いて、こうしてお盆を迎える、伝統的な行事があります。でも私たちはどうでしょうか。先にお上手に帰られた方々、仏様となって、今ここにその人たちの大私たちに届いていることですが、これはどういうことでしょうか。あの人たちの大義の心を私たちが今いただいているわけでありますけど、それはどういうことでしょうか。僕のもう長い間の友達、先輩なんですけども、先輩のお話ですね、ちょっとお話ししたいと思いますけども、彼の同級生、龍谷大学の同級生一人、九州の飯塚という町の、飯塚といったら、パン粉で有名な町ですよ。パン粉節のパン粉ね、九州の飯塚という町の、有名な町のお寺の、そこのお寺の後取り息子が、これはそうね、何年前、もう15年、20年前ぐらいかな。とにかくその当時34歳でがんを、亡くなったんですよ。で、彼の名前は、僕の友達のその同級生の名前が中尾君という方とでしたけど、彼の、ね、34歳で命を終えてね、かわいそうと思いますけど、これはね、仏様の話ですから、ありがたい話。その中尾君の三大機能法要のことでした。中尾君の、僕の友達も入れて、中尾君のその同級生も、みんな三回忌に呼ばれて、飯塚の方に向かって、お寺にお参りしたわけでありますけども。で、僕の友達がお寺に着いて、お法事が始まるちょうど直前だったんですけども、ちょうど不法と、お客様、ちょっと来て、着替えて、本堂の方へ進んで、そしてお大臣の前に進みますと、そこに彼の家というか、お写真ですね、いろんなお供え物がありました。その時、中尾君の、僕の友達が、中尾君のお写真を見た時、懐かしいなと思ったらしいんですよ。お写真に向かって、その時に、その瞬間で手を合わせて何万と言ったらしいんですよ。そしたら、しまったな。これ、自分の頭の中で彼が考えて、しまったな。遺族の、ね、方がいらっしゃる、親戚の方も、でお寺ですから、後取り息子ですから、ご門徒さんも大勢集まってる前に、なんと無作法なことをしたんじゃないかなと、思ったらしいんですよ。そうですよね。考えたら私たちに教えてくれてるのは、仏様に向かってお念仏するのが、これが正しい作法で、あります。お写真に向かって何万と唱えると、こんなことすると、もしかしたら勘違いするんじゃないですか。その勘違いというのは、その方の写真に向かって何万そのお念仏が、もしかしたら、迷わずに、お浄土にね、迷わずにね、お浄土の方に行くのが、土地のお願いみたいなことになっちまう。そう思われることがありますので、ちょっと迷ってるんですよね。でも、今のお念仏を取り消しするわけにはいけませんので、そのまま席の方にした。で、その三回忌のお参りが、終わりまして、お時の接待のお父さん もう住職ですよね。後取り息子が亡くなりましたから、住職ずっと続けてるんですけど、お父さんとお母さんがちゃんと皆様のようにおとぎを出していただいて、その時に、まあ、おとぎですから、いろんなこととか食べてね、お酒もまあ出たでしょう。その時に亡くなった中尾君のお父さんが、僕の友達と同級生の皆さんの前に行って、その友達にこんなことを言ったらしいんです。そうですよね。今3回忌を迎えて、うちの息子には、この2年間、3回忌ですから、2年間、この2年間、うちの息子はね、大活躍でした。うちの息子は大活躍でした。と言ったらしいんですよ、お父さん。そう考えると、これはちょっと不思議な言葉じゃないですか。だって2年前に亡くなった息子ですから、大活躍とは何のことだったでしょうかね。そしたら、中尾君が、病院に療養中、もう時々口もうまい具合に手も、ね、動かない状態だったんですけども、中尾君が、時々ふっと思った時には自分考えていることをノートに書いて、日記みたいな。そしたらそこに中尾君が間に合ったという言葉を日記みたいなものには、病院の生活で送った時には思ったことを書いて残したものでありました。僕は間に合った。もしも何か修行しなければならないことでしたら、私はもう間に合いません。仏様の見教えに出会って、もうとっくに間に合います。お父さんがこの言葉を、書き残した言葉を、ちょっと小冊子にして、九州各地で自分の息子が間に合ったという命を終えましたお話をする。この2年。で、この間に合ったということを紹介したのは、例えばですね、PTA の集まり、コミュニティセンターや、普通こういう話をしないところで、する場所で、自分の息子が34歳の若さで、がんで書き残して命を終えました。で、中尾君が病院の療養中、ね、時うまい具合に動かない、話もできないこともあって、手も動かない。そして手も動かない時もありましたから、容体がこんな状態でもしね、何かしなければならないということでないとお浄土に生まれていかないということがあれば、もし、ね、手を合わせなさい、お念仏を申しなさいと中尾さんが、確かにもう間に合いませんでした。そう考えますと、中尾さんは本当に大活躍ですよね。普通、仏様のお話をしないところで、お父さんが息子の書き残した言葉を話して、それは中尾さんは大活躍です。なぜかと言いますと、2年前に亡くなった中尾さんですけど、お父さんにして息子のことをお話しできることは息子のおかげではないでしょうか。そう考えると、僕の先輩がその時にお写真の前でお念仏を唱えた無他法なことをしたと思ったけれども、日頃ね、お念仏を申すはずのない私たちが彼の写真を見たときに思わず手を合わせ、お念仏を口にしたのは、これが、おかげだったのが思ったのであります。これのおかげだった。別に写真に向かって、ね、中尾君、自分の友達がもう本当迷わずにどうぞお浄土に生まれ変わってくださいというお念仏じゃなかったということです。願度に至れば速やかに 情涅槃を称してぞ、すなわち大悲を起こすなり、これをエコーと名付けたり。先にお浄土に生まれて、この上ない悟りを開かせていただく。そして大悲のお心が生まれる。その大悲の心が私たちのところに常に届いているということです。真の上人のご和さんですね。思わず知らず手を合わせ、思わず知らずお念仏を唱え、思わず知らず頭が下がりました。これは火の心の働きが彼のところに届いていることに気づきましたことを学びました。お盆を迎えて、1年に1回ご先祖がこの世に帰ってきて、お盆が終わりますと、あの世にまた、そう思うのもいいでしょう。私たち人間としては。今日も、さっきプログラム言いましたが、今日も歌いますけれども、お盆の歌にありますように、トンボに乗ってはるばると、お浄土からのお客様、1年ぶりのお客様。そう考えるとちょっと寂しいですね。一年に1回しか帰ってこないうちのご先祖さんは、ね。だけども、そう思うのもいいんじゃないですか。しかし、高尾さんのお言葉、間に合ったお忘れず、私たちも阿弥陀様の御教えに出会って、こうして大事のお心をいただいているこの私も、特に間に合ってよかったと思いたい。今日はお盆、昨日は初盆、お参りがありまして、去年のお盆と今年のお盆の間に大切な方々がお亡くなりになりました。その方々は仏様となって、この上ない悟りを開き、今、その人たちの大義の私たちに届いているわけであります。手を合わせ、お念仏を唱えさせていただくばかりであります。10時の英語の法要が始まりますので、お時間が参りましたので、ここで今日の話をちょっと変えさせていただきたいと思います。最後にご文章の配布をさせていただきます。ようこそいろんな前にございました。上人一流のご関係の趣は、信心のもって本当せられそう。その上は、もろもろの造業を投げ捨てて、一心に皆に奇妙すれば、不可思議の眼力として、仏の方より往生は事情しめたも。そのくらいを一年発起入賞上始終とも釈し、その上の称名念仏た如来我が往生定めたまいし、御法人の念仏と心的なに、あなかしこ、あなかしこ、スタマンダ、スタマンダ、スタマンダ、スタマンダ、スタマンダ。ようこそお参りください。ありがとうございます。先生、どうもありがとうございました。フォアをさせてもらって、本当にありがたい。いろんな思いが出てきます。もう何十年前から私ので、 ろんなこと質問いただきありました。本当に今日のご応募いただいてもらってありがとうございます。We'll begin the Officiated service. We'll begin show. Yeah, 10 o'clock. We'll begin 10 o'clock service. Thank you very much for attending. Since Kevin is here, because I kind of didn't receive it. Well, I said it. I think so. I'll be gone.
Okay. I'll. We didn't see, but we'll check.
Oh, okay.
Kevin?
Oh, Kevin, yeah.
Yeah, I sent it by you guys. Good morning.
Oh, no, actually, I haven't got it yet. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I sent it from my office. That email.
パパが買いに来てこれがいいって聞いたんで。ばっかりどうもなんで全てお任せよねって言ったら。計算がパパが上よね。パパが上で計算をしたんです。やげてた。手もちゃんとしてるし、足元も確かで。親子は2、3年前になってるけど、その時まだまだもっといい。
Good morning. I'm Akizuki. I'll be your chairperson for this morning's Obon Service. Before we begin, please remind that there is no food or drink in the hall. Also, please turn off your cell phones or put them on silent. We had the R1 festival last week. A lot of hard work, but a lot of fun. And I think sometimes we kind of may forget that this is important religious observance for Japanese Buddhists. In Japan, people go home for Obon. And they do things such as they put lanterns out, maybe send lanterns out to the sea. It depends on where you live. They go to the cemetery and they clean out the cemetery stones of their loved ones. And so I just realized this recently. So, some of you may know our Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts go to Oak Hill Cemetery and they clean all the headstones and they put flowers on each graveside and then the niches, right? And ding, 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 this is part of Obon, right? This is continuing kind of what you do in Japan. Doing this, so the scouts are kind of for everybody going out cleaning the gravesite. So that is very much part of Obon, and I didn't realize that was part of the reason why the scouts do that. Anyway, we're going to begin this morning's service with selections from the Betsuin choir, Gerald and Hamabe, with a very special guest for one of the songs.
Goshyo Day.
We shall treasure the golden nights we spent with you. Ours that brought to us in foolish measure all the blessings and the joy of friendship true. Farewell to you, so true, may love to eternal guide you, and love divine upon your path shine until we meet again. Evermore in memory we shall treasure the golden hours we spent with you. Hearts that brought to us in fullest measure all the blessings and the joy of friendship true. Farewell to you, our friends so true, our friends so true, may love and truth eternal God. Until we meet
And well, I think next year go out on tour. Look for those dates. Now we will begin soon chatting with Sakamoto, one of the large service book, followed by Sakamoto on page 22 in the small Dharma School service book, and page 79 in the large service book.
Today on this occasion, the Obon Service, the members of the San Jose Buddhist Church Betsuin have reverently come before Amida Buddha with deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida. We reaffirm the three homages. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. 신쇼 어승한 너희 이기쇼쇼요 김어세선 시에문에 연여시선 시가신요 개여신십 쇼근어부주 양여쇼진 닌주
We will now have Dialogue Shoko. It's an honor of the following representatives of these groups. 611. Voice Shot Troop 611. Daisy Troop. Junior Troop. Cadet Troop. Senior Passenger Troop. Junior YBA. Buddhist preschool. Seventh-day Dharma school. Buddhist Boys Association. Adult Buddhist Association. Organist of Hawaii. Please rise to sing the Gatha. This is a change of the program. We're going to sing Obon, it's Festival Day, which is on page 72 in the small Dharma School service book. Again, Obon, page 72 in the Dharma School service book.
Please join our reading of the three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life? Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Blessed One? Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves to the present life, no hope is there that we shall be free from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in them. ages of myriads of countless. Hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of God's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida. Thank you.
Rinban Sakamoto now, just a guest speaker.
Good morning. Welcome to this year's Obon Service. Some of you may have been here yesterday when we observed the Obon Service. But these services, as Dennis spoke about in the beginning, it's part of our culture, part of our history, but it also comes from the Buddha Dharma. And as we gather together for these Obon services, we remember and express our appreciation for the many lives that have been lived before us and contribute to our lives. We're fortunate to have with us this morning as our speaker for this Obon service, Reverend Michael Endo. I've known Endo Sensei for many years. I started at the Oakland Buddhist Temple, where his family have been prominent members for now generations. He has served the Buddhist Churches of America as in the capacity of the executive officer to the bishop. And his first assignment, the first time he took on that responsibility, was under Watanabe Sensei. So in 1969, more like, 1996. About dyslexia there. 1996, when he was first assigned as an executive officer under Bishop. He has, in that capacity, it's not only taking care of the bishop, whoever the bishop might be, he's currently taking care of Bishop Harada, but he also helps to coordinate these many conferences, large conferences that we hold in the BCA, and coordinating with Japan. And often when these conferences take place, it's really kind of coordinating with all these different bodies that are kind of in motion that need to come together and coalesce at that time. There have been a couple of visits by the Monshu when Endo Sensei has served as the coordinator of the Monshu's visit. And again, it seems like a simple thing. Oh, the Monshu's coming. So, but the last visit that the Monshu made, maybe it was one before that, when he visited San Jose. So he was on a tour. He was on, I think, one of our Salinas, and then from Salinas he came here to San Jose, and then went to Mountain View. And among the entourage that the Gomonshu had was, what's the name? Anjo Sensei. Anjo Sensei, and Anjo Sensei had a satchel that he was responsible for. So this Gomonshu, the head of our organization, and there's Anjo Sensei with his satchel. And it was a busy time. And Watanabe Sensei wanted to have lunch, late lunch in San Francisco. And so rather than stay with the limousine that was taking them around, they decided to get on a train to go up to San Francisco. And so everybody was on that train and went up. But Ando Sensei forgot the satchels in the limousine that they were riding around in. And he was so distraught. I thought he would commit seppuku. Endo Sensei said that it was his Gomonshu's fuho that was in there. So it wasn't like a terrible thing. But Anjo Sensei felt very responsible. So these are the kinds of things, just a couple examples of the responsibilities that Endo Sensei has and is able to coordinate and make these occasions take place. Very fortunate to have Endo Sensei with us this morning to share his appreciation and understanding and appreciation of Buddha Dharma.
Morning, everyone. Thank you, Reverend Sakamoto, for the invitation to be here with you on this occasion of your Obon service. Yeah, you brought up that very painful memory. I'm glad I was the one that left this. That could have been a very big event in Japan. That would be the case, but yeah, thank you very much for coming together this morning for your Obon service. I've known Sensei since 1976. I have to go back into our church's centennial book and see exactly what year it was you came to Oakland. But you came to Oakland when I was only 11 years old, so I've known you since. But yeah, Sensei's been a very, very long time good friend. And so I really appreciate this occasion to be with you at the end of your career here. You sure you want to retire? We still need ministers, you know. No, but well deserved. And it's good to be here, to see many familiar faces, new faces, on this occasion of your Obon. Hearing the things you do for Obon, you were mentioning going to cemetery, meeting up with the scouts. I think it's a wonderful thing. Obon is a time for us to remember those who've gone before us. In a way, it is a memorial. It's our memorial. Made for American society. Obon is a time for us to remember our ancestors, those that have gone before us to Pure Land. And in our tradition, we say that those who have been born into the Pure Land, those who passed on before us, born in the Pure Land, return to us in the form of great compassion. Great compassion. This I spoke earlier in the Japanese sermon, but those that have gone to the Pure Land become Buddha, and in turn, they return to us as the working of great compassion, just as Buddha does too. And so I'd like to begin the PowerPoint. That's okay. So I called this message today, I'd like to share with you a story of compassion and living a life embraced by Amida Buddha. Next slide, please. So if you could all just join me in God's story, just like this portion of reading of the lessons of Shira. Watching over the followers of the Nembutsu in the world of the 10 quarters, as numerous as dust particles, he embraces them and does not forsake. Hence, he is called Amida. Namam. Next slide, please. So the story I wanted to share, what this idea of compassion and how it touches each of us in our lives. I wanted to refer to a movie drama that I had watched back in 2012, and I use this story often because the story is such a beautiful story. Unfortunately, I have seen the DVD available on Amazon and things like that, but I haven't come across one that has the English translation of the story. Hopefully, it'll come out, or maybe it'll show up on Netflix or something these days. But the story, the Japanese title, as you can see, was called "Ie de shinu to yu koto." Ie de shinu to yu koto. What it means to die at home. You may think, what a morbid title for a drama, but such a beautiful story. Such a beautiful story. Ie de shinu to yu koto. So this was an NHK TV drama in 2012, and you can see from the poster of the movie, you can kind of tell where this was taken. This story took place. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. If any of you have gone on Karen Akaoshi's Japan tours, anybody here gone on Karen's tours? Somebody here is saying okay. Anyway, she picks many wonderful places to visit in Japan. So this story takes place in a place called Shirakawa-go. Shirakawa-go. It's in Gifu Prefecture. Yeah, as you can see in comparison to Tokyo, where it is, it's over towards the Japan seaside. Next slide, please. So Shirakawa-go this is it's a village. It's in this valley in Gifu. And so when you arrive at this town, this is basically what you see from the top. If you look down to Chicago. Next. So very, very unique structures, these houses. These are actually houses, many of them still being lived in by the residents of this village. And you see the shape of the roof, gassho zukuri, we call it. Gassho style houses. In other words, the roof line kind of looks like your hands in gassho. Next slide, please. This is just a picture of Shirakawa in the winter time. I went on a tour to Shirakawa. Next slide, please. So this drama, Ie de Shinuri, what it means to die at home. The two main characters was Junichi, played by Katsunori Takahashi, and Hisako, played by Hisako Watanabe. Hisako is Junichi's mother-in-law in this drama. Next slide, please. So the story, it revolves around Hisako Obacha, cancer, and she's living by herself in the town of Shirakawa. And so from the photos of the town, you can see that it's a very remote village from any immediate large city. She has one daughter who was married to Junichi, and then they have two sons, and they live as a family in Tokyo. Next slide, please. So the daughter, Junichi's wife, she's caught up in her own family life and work. She begins to find it hard to travel to Shirakawa, to Gifu, all the time to visit and take care of her mother. So there's a scene in the very beginning, realizing the mother's sick. She wants her mom to move out of Shirakawa and come to Tokyo so that she would be closer to her and it would be easier for her to take care of her. But her mother doesn't want to leave Shirakawa because she is comfortable where she is in her own home. Next slide, please. So from the start of the drama, you can see that there's already this rift between mother and daughter. And so the daughter tells the husband, Junichi, to go to Shirakawa and to tell her mother that she needs to move to Tokyo. In other words, you go to visit her. You tell her she needs to come back to Tokyo. Because it's just too hard for us to go to you all the time. So if you move to Tokyo with us, she's trying to build this argument. It'll just make it easier for all of us. So in other words, daughter is just really self-centered, just thinking nothing about but herself. Next slide. And so Junichi at first, of course, argues and says that she should go since she's the daughter, right? It's your own mother. But the daughter explains that, well, mom's not going to listen to me, so it's up to you to go and persuade her to move to Tokyo. So Junichi gives in extended leave of absence from his home town. Takes one of the sons with him to Shirakawa to persuade Hisako, his mother-in-law, to come back to Tokyo with him. Next. So Junichi and his son, they arrive at Shirakawa and he tells Hisako, his mother-in-law, Mom, I really need you to come back to Tokyo with me. She just, right away, no, I have too many things to do here, The days go on, he's still there with her, and Junichi continues to try to persuade his mother-in-law, Hisako, to go back to Tokyo with them. Because Junichi gave up his own work to come out here to persuade, so he's just really trying to work on her to make her move back to Tokyo. So then one evening, Hisako begins to reflect on her life in Shirakawa and begins to open up about her life to Junichi. And it's much that he had never heard before. So she goes on to say, well, let me tell you why I want to stay here in Shirakawa. Hisako goes on to tell us how she married and moved to Shirakawa 60 years ago. Hisako begins to say, this is the only home I know. She knows. Her move to Shirakawa 60 years ago was through an arranged marriage. She had to live with her grumpy and drunk father-in-law, her own father-in-law, her in-laws. Mother-in-law was strict and mean, always complaining how housework wasn't done right, how she wasn't raising her daughter correctly. Nothing but monku in this household. And then Sako went on to explain that basically, whatever she did, she could never satisfy her mother-in-law's expectations. As her mother-in-law grew older and more feeble, one of the things she insisted was that she tie a string to her wrist with the other end on Hisako's wrist, so that in the middle of the night, if she ever needed anything, all she had to do was pull on the string and Hisako would come. And she tells the story as if it was such a pain in the, you know what, so urusai to have to do this for her mother-in-law. But this was the type of life she married into. And then she goes on to explain that she has so much to do living there in Shutdown. She has to take care of the house. It's one of those houses that she's living in, the Kasho house. She has to take care of the house. She has to get ready for winter. You saw how snowy you can get in Shutdown. So she has to put up the storm doors around the house. This is an 80-something-year-old lady. You know, she's doing this all by herself. She has to prepare. She has cattle, so she has to prepare straw and the hay for the cattle to eat over the winter. She has to make lots of tsukemono, hakusai and daikon tsukemono to carry her over the winter months. There's so many friends to be with. Most importantly, she says that she has to stay so that she can attend the wedding of the nurse that has been taking care of her throughout her illness. So life over these past 60 years here in Chicago, life with her in-laws and the idea of the string, you know, it's all nostalgic for her. And so she really doesn't want to leave that, and she has to stay to see that nurse get married. And this is a nurse in the drama that's taking care of Sako. So hearing all these stories, coming to realize just how important this village and this house is to Hisako, Junichi agrees to let her stay in Shirakawa. But on the one condition that she agrees to move into a facility so that she won't be alone and that she could receive better care. And that, you know, they'll have peace of mind knowing that, you know, somebody's with her all the time. So eventually, Oba-chan Hisako reluctantly agrees to this arrangement and moves into this brand new care facility in the town of Shirakawa. One of the touching scenes in this drama is when one late evening, Junichi quietly enters Hisako's room at the care facility. And while she's sleeping, he carefully and quietly ties the string to Hisako's wrist and ties the other end to his own wrist. And then he falls asleep in the chair next to Hisako's bed. He wanted Oba-chan, his mother-in-law, to know that he was there in case she needed anything, and that it was not, to him, it wasn't a burden. So the next morning, Hisako, there's a scene, she wakes up, she realizes what Junichi has done, that there's a smile on her face. There's another touching scene. It's when the grandson stops by to visit Hisako in his nursing home one day and has a conversation with his grandmother. And Junichi arrives at the facility also, and he's standing outside the door listening to this conversation between his son and his mother-in-law. So the grandson asks, you know, Oba-chan, is there anything you need? Anything? Not anyone you would like to, anything you would like to, anybody you would like to see? But is there anything you'd like to eat? Anything special you'd like to eat? Anybody you'd like to see? And Hisako's response in a quiet voice, you know, she really doesn't want to be in this facility, obviously, but she says, I just want to go home. I want to go see all of my family and relatives who are in the house. Kind of strange, and we know Hisako lives by herself. But when you see this drama and the scenes before she moves into this home, you know right away that Hisako means she wants to see all of her relatives and ancestors whose photos are lined up on the wall in the main room where this huge obusan. If I were to estimate, I think the obusan was probably about as big as at least one of the back doors there, leading out of the hondo. That's how large. It showed how devout she was. So then the next day, he hears this conversation. The next day, Junichi arrives again at the care facility, enters Hisako's room, his mother-in-law's room. Hisako is all dressed with her bags packed, and she's sitting on the bed, Japanese style, seiza, just looking at the door. As Junichi enters the room, there's tears in her eyes. And so Junichi looks at his mother-in-law, and with a smile on his face, he tells Hisako, "Okasa, harimashou." When he tells his mom, "Let's go home." So this is near the end of the drama, and after returning home, Hisako gradually becomes weaker and weaker. Junichi calls his wife in Tokyo to tell her that, you really need to come home because your mom is not going to live much longer. His voice is getting louder and louder. The daughter is still bitter at how stubborn her mother is, has been all her life. She's just too busy with work to go to Shatong. So Junichi finally just yelled at her and said, "This is your mom. You need to get out here right away." I didn't put exactly how he said it. Not so many words. He really insisted, you need to get your hearing to shut up. So, Hisako goes back to her home, and ultimately she succumbs to her cancer. The daughter does finally return home to be with her mother one last time. Hisako faces her death with strength and courage and the joy of being able to be and to die in her own home, her wish. She's also happy that her daughter finally came home and was able to reconcile some of the bitter feelings that they had led, which led them to grow. So one of the other lessons we come to understand, import from the smaller sutra, watching over the followers of the Tenbutsu, the world of the 10 quarters, as numerous as dust particles. He embraces them and does not forsake. Hence, he is called Amida. This is the heart of Amida Buddha. Also, in the Shoshinge that I'm sure you recite here for your services, Shinran Shonin writes, "Although I am too within Amida's grasp, nevertheless, great compassion is untiring and illumines me always. Amidst the feelings that I am alone and lonely, I am reminded that the great compassion of Amida Buddha does not forsake and is always shining upon me." We are never forgotten. Next slide, please. And so through this drama, this relationship to our Nebula's teaching, I thought, there is a thread that ties us together. There is a thread string that ties us together. And just like the heart and feeling with which Junichi attached one end of the string to his wrist and the other to his mother-in-law's wrist, it is like Amida Buddha reminding us that though your eyes may be obstructed, although you may not realize it, I am here with you always, illuminating you with my great compassion. I am here as part of your life to support you in good and difficult times. So at this time of Obon, Hatsubon yesterday, of course, there is no doubt sadness and loneliness that we experience as we remember those who we've lost. In particular, I'm sure for those of you who are observing Hatsubon, your first Obon this year, the feelings of loss is still very new. It can be very difficult. there is a feeling, of emptiness in our lives when we lose someone so precious, so important to us in our lives. And Buddhism reminds us that it's okay to feel this loss of those we love. It is okay because we are reminded that these feelings are a result of the interconnected and special relationships that we share with those loved ones. Unique, and this is a unique and unchanging relationship for all of us. Whether we have lost a parent or a child, or a sibling, or relative or friend, that relationship does not change. And while there may be sadness and loneliness, there is also a tremendous sense of appreciation and gratitude for the relationships that we share. This is the case for all of us at this time of remote. Remember loved ones that have gone before us through the period. Sometimes, though, because our eyes are obstructed, it is often difficult for us to see beyond the sadness and the loneliness and realize that the other side of our loss. This is why I think it's become so difficult. We tend to lose sight of the important relationship. We just kind of focus on the loss and the sadness in our life. But over time, it changes. One of my senseis growing up in Oakland Church, Oakland Temple, was former Bishop Yamaoka, passed away a couple of years ago. But growing up in Oakland, when I started going to Dharma school, late 60s, Yamaoka Sensei was my minister. And then he became bishop, then he went to Stockton Church, became bishop. After he finished his bishop's term, he returned to Oakland for another 9 or 10 years, and then he retired fully from BC. Yamaoka Sensei would often say at memorial services, like the green persimmon ripening on the tree, memories of sorrow turn to sweet memories with time, just like the persimmon ripening on the tree. A green persimmon is very astringent, very difficult to eat, but as you let it sit longer and longer, it grows sweet with time. This is, I think, the same with our memories of those we've lost. Our sorrow does turn to sweet memories over time. And so I think this is the wonder of living a life guided by our teaching. This is what it means to encounter those who have gone before us, to be embraced by great compassion, to be embraced by Amida Buddha. Next slide, please. Those you remember, members of San Jose Betsuin, remember on this occasion of your Obon, are always with us, reaching out to us in the form of great compassion, always thinking of us. And they are always illuminating us, reminding us that the feelings we experience are a result of the special, unique, and changing relationships that we were able to share. And how do we know this? Because of important art in our lives. So during COVID, we were sent home. We were working from our houses. Like many of you, all of us at PCA, we were sent home on March 14th, 2020. We remained working at home for a couple of years. But it was during that time, maybe because of the conditions, just being at home, a little bit more relaxed, I was able to just think about the circumstances that we were living in at the time, too, with COVID. And how people were so stressed. And this idea of R&R from what I felt was a Buddhist perspective, Jodoshisha perspective, religious perspective, I came up with another, not just your typical rest and relaxation, which I was thinking a lot of people probably needed because of all of the stress we were going through during COVID. But this R&R, I thought, it is a reaction and a response. Reaction and response. Reaction to this great change in our lives of having lost a loved one, and our response of the Nembutsu Namuamu Namas. It's a response as a result of and gratitude for the working of great compassion in our lives. So as we observe your 2025 Obon service today, I hope that you will reflect upon the words of Shinan Shonin, watching over the followers of the Nembutsu in the worlds of the 10 quarters as numerous as the dust particles. He embraces them and does not forsake. Hence, he is called Amida. This is the great compassion that touches our lives day in and day out. Whether we're aware of it or not, Amida's compassion does touch all of us. And that is the compassion of those that you've lost in your lives that have been born into the pure land. They too have become Buddha. Right? They've reached this limitless enlightenment. Now they are part of your life in form of great compassion. So this is the story I wanted to share with you this morning. So thank you again for coming together for Obon Hatsubo. And again, it was a pleasure to be with you. I'd like to just close with the reading of the Gohensho letters. When taught in the tradition of Hinan Shonin, that the entrusting heart is essential. For when we abandon various practices and take refuge in Amida with singleness of heart, our birth in the Pure Land is settled by the Buddha through the inconceivable vow power. The state we thus attain is described as, with awakening of a single thought of entrusting, we join those who are in the stage of the truly settled. Recitation of the Nembutsu thereafter should be understood to be the Nembutsu as an expression of gratitude for the Tathagata's benevolence for settling our birth in the Pure Land. Humbly and respectfully, I repeat. Namam Dhamsa. Namam Dhamsa. Namam Dhamsa. Namam Dhamsa. Very much.
On behalf of the Senate, I'd like to thank Endo for that very wonderful talk. I think it kind of brings home and the meaning of Obon. Too bad that movie is not in English. But appreciate him sharing that with us. Just allows us to tie everything together for us. We really appreciate him not just speaking at the service, but he came and he spoke Japanese service before this. Very appreciate him very much coming out from the East this morning. Okay, so can I ask you to please rise for singing the one song, which is in your program. Are there any announcements?
Good morning. My name is Gina Kano. I'm here with Sangha support. But before I begin the information I want to give to you, I just want to tell Reverend Endo how much I enjoyed his Dharma talk. I've been to the Kitagawa village, the Kasho homes, and now that I've heard him, it has a special meaning for us, for those of us who are on the trip. So thank you very much. I appreciate having a new memory of that wonderful, wonderful village. I'm here for Sangha support. I know it's only July, but then August is soon going to come, then it'll be September, and we're going to be back with our activities again. So all of you adults, we have a Games Day, Activity Day. Now, last year, we had a very low sign-up. Makes us worry, right? Because we're planning this event that's in the multi-purpose room, the kitchen, the gym. And a low sign-up sheet, what do? Do we kind of plan for a bigger group? Well, we try to estimate how many will actually show. I know some of you like to make a decision on the day of. If I'm here, I feel good, I'm gonna go. But it doesn't work that way. The committee is trying to plan, right? We gotta plan food for you because there'll be lunch with us. We gotta have the people planning all the activities to be there to host their table, whatever the activity might be. We're going to bring back some of our favorite things to do. Chair exercises. How many of you have done that with us and really enjoyed it? Oh, check a few hands. We're bringing her back. She's great. We're having a sing-along again, and we have some new games this year in addition to the favorite ones. So we'll have a Mexican train game. Ever hear about it? I saw some smiles. We're having a just one. Want to learn a new game? Well, you need to come. Also bingo. Okay, so I'm going to be in the refreshment time. So if you think you'd like to come on Sunday, September the 28th from 11 to 1, you're going to have lunch with us, right? So don't worry. I'll be in the refreshment room, which is a multi-purpose room. And I will sign you up if you come over to me and you tell me you'd like to sign up. So get your name on the sign-up sheet in the office. Okay, I'll save you one step. All right, thank you so much. I'll see you in September 28th. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Larry, and on behalf of the board and all, I'm just here to thank everyone for everything connected with Obon. As has been reminded today, it just doesn't include our festival that we held last weekend. So to the scouts and their parents and your leaders, thank you so much for cemetery cleanup. Thank you to the ministers and everybody else connected with the hot stone service that was held last evening. Thank you to the choir for performing today, and for the festival last weekend. You know, we have, I don't know, we have no idea exactly how many volunteers have showed up. We estimate 1,600, 1,000. We have no idea. I'm a math major and I can't count that high apparently. So, but thank you to all of you who helped in all variety of ways. We have wonderful crews that do construction and deconstruction and all the planning. Our one committee plans for months and months, and of course not everything goes right. I mean, it's impossible, but everybody kind of rolls with the punches and goes through it. So for those of you who are like my wife and I, who did multiple shifts and felt like we were living at this temple over the weekend, thank you. And even if we only did an hour or two, every little bit helps. So for those of you who didn't, shame on you, and hopefully you'll help next year. Thank you.
Thank you. That will conclude this morning's service. Please come up for and Please join us for refreshments.
Yeah.